In 1989, Nintendo was unstoppable. They had completely conquered the living room in North America with the NES, and so took aim at their next target, the grey outdoors. With a console that was portable. Operation Game Boy. An evolution of the simpler Game & Watch systems with interchangeable cartridges and the ability to survive bombs. Oh, they meant business. It was the brainchild of Satoru Okada and Gunpei Yokoi, who was one of, if not the most important designer at Nintendo, whose design philosophy, lateral thinking with weird technology, has continued to influence the company to this day. Together with Nintendo's Research and Development No. 1 division, would not only the Game Boy be developed, but also the first handheld Mario game to launch alongside it. Super Mario Land. The fact this game released when it did was nothing short of a miracle, because, and let's get this out of the way, this game is butt ugly. Look, I get it. They had to take Super Mario Bros. From the NES and cram it onto a system that could only display 4 varying shades of puke green with no backlight to save on battery life, on a screen smaller than the cartridge itself, and still make it resemble Mario, giving you just enough to guess what you're looking at. See? There's a Goomba, just like you remember, dead inside. And Nintendo couldn't just launch a new console without a Mario game. What would be the alternative? If I had to describe the Mario Land series in one word, it would be weird. And not just in concept, but also Nintendo's attitude towards it. They weren't your usual 2D Mario adventures. There was no Mushroom Kingdom, no Bowser, not even a flagpole to slide down at the end of a level. They had doors. They were their own stories in far-off lands with weird characters and gameplay mechanics that made the series unique beyond just being Mario on the go. Though in retrospect, it does feel like they threw a bunch of ideas at the wall to see what sticks, as Nintendo rarely acknowledges the series in full. Like they'll reference Sarasaland to no end but won't do anything with it. It made me wonder if they were embarrassed with the series, specifically the first game. Because when the Game Boy app for Nintendo Switch Online came out, only Super Mario Land 2 was on it. The first game wasn't added until well over a year later. I mean, comparing the two is like comparing a healthy 30-year-old to a reanimated corpse. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. Is this the ugliest Mario game? Well, I don't know if there's a random PC game from the 90s I haven't heard about, and Hotel Mario is ugly, but in an almost mesmerizing way. I just can't take my eyes off it. This is just plain UGLY. Thankfully, the game would receive color from the aptly named Game Boy Color. Doesn't fix it from being ugly, but hey, at least it put on some makeup. That's what I'm sticking with, so let's play Super Mario Land. What? Well, Super Mario Land wins not only the ugliest Mario game, but the shortest too. I'll consider that part a blessing. Having only 4 worlds of 3 levels each that last for barely a minute, and that makes sense with it being a handheld game. Smaller scope, no need to mope, I'm not gonna hold that against it. What I will is the controls. This is the worst controlling Mario, period. He feels stiff, his jump loses all momentum if you let go of the D-pad, and he barely moves in the air when you are pressing left or right. I never feel like I'm in full control, exacerbated by the fact that gravity is downright inconsistent. The difference between jumping and walking off a ledge is astronomical. One feels like you're on the moon and the other, Mario drops like a cartoon character. It's not horrible, however it makes the game feel imprecise and inconsistent, which is not great when its idea of difficulty is to rely on precise jumps, bombless pits, and the good old throw everything at ya and tell you to suck it up. Whoa, wait, how'd that kill me? Instant replay that now. What? And sometimes stuff will just spawn out of midair? Oh, come on! And I'm playing this on a big screen. The original was worse. But maybe I am being a bit too harsh. Maybe I am going a little too fast because hey, this is the first handheld Mario game ever for a souped up calculator. Of course, it wasn't going to be great. Maybe, just maybe, the real beauty of this game is on the inside. Like, deep inside, like maybe the code looks better actually. So, what do I like about Super Mario Land? Well, that part. The wacky premise of throwing Mario into the desert country of Sarasaland, ruled by the one and only Princess Daisy.
Hi, I'm Daisy!
No, you're not. Shut your mouth. She is the only major impact this game had on the series, though I would give the real credit to Camelot and the Mario sports titles for properly fleshing out her character into who she is today. The loudmouth, enthusiastic princess that we all love, compared to the soulless damsel in distress she is here for Mario to save. From aliens. Could you tell me Muda was not involved in the series whatsoever? Because you will, and that's kinda why I love it. Now, Sarasaland is made up of 4 distinct kingdoms. The Birabuto kingdom is based off ancient Egypt, with all the pyramids and sphinx, kinda hard to miss. Muda is an aquatic kingdom with jumping skeleton fish and a submarine level. Easton is based off the Eastern Island. What the? These moe heads come out of nowhere and have a vendetta against Mario. Can they see the future? And the last one, the Chai Kingdom. No, it's fine. I just didn't think it would be Chinese. An odd final world to say the least, but still a tough one with the invincible Pyompi. Invincible hopping vampires based off the Jianqi from Chinese folklore. They're practically invincible except for their one weakness. Mario's balls. The ones he throws out using the new Super Ball flower specifically. The Super Ball flower is the only other power-up in the game besides the mushroom, and it started the tradition. If your game is called Super Mario Land, it has to have balls. In this case, the Super Ball flower lets Mario shoot out balls that bounce off at a 90-degree angle. It doesn't change how Mario looks, because what do you do with this? And it's almost useless in dealing with the enemy right in front of you. Sometimes makes me wish I just had a fire flower, good old reliable. Though Mario shows us he's a jack of all trades by piloting both a plane and a submarine in the final levels of World 2 and 4. Each world ending with a boss, quotation mark, fight, end quotation. And the final boss is an aerial battle against the main antagonist, Tatanga. Jenga. Every world feels unique with its level design, look, and gimmicks. It's something that I've always appreciated the series doing. Crafting cohesive worlds that progressed naturally. From exploring the deserts of the Birabuto kingdom to its pyramids in the final level, all while subverting the usual Mario expectations. Like, instead of your princesses in another castle, turns out the enemies are simply disguising themselves as Daisy. Even the most basic enemies, the Koopas, now explode after you jump on them. And get this? This isn't a Goomba, it's a Goombo. They changed one letter and shaved off the eyebrows. I love this series. Though my favorite part of the game has to be the music. Composed by Hirokazu Tanaka, it's easily the highlight of the game, with tracks like Birabuto and Muda Kingdom. The only problem is that the songs sound like this. The hardware really doesn't do them justice. Thankfully, the Mario Freaks Orchestra did. Yep, that's their name. They're freaky about Mario, but in a good way. To give context, between 1989 and 1990, select Nintendo music was arranged into albums under the Nippon Columbia Company, with Super Mario Land's entire soundtrack being arranged into something beautiful. These arrangements were written by Ikuro Fujiwara, and they inject so much life into these songs. Muda Kingdom was already my favorite song before, and now it just got better. Listen to that guitar go! Man, the music in this game is so good and yet so weird. Like, who would have thought the Superstar theme would just be the Can-Can song? Sure does beat the pants off whoever the heck was in Super Mario Land 2. Nothing super about that one. And that ending theme is downright beautiful. Overall, I think that Super Mario Land is okay. Wait, that's not the right sound effect. What's going on? Stop! What? Stop filming! It's not the worst, but almost everything it does is done better in the sequel, which is like 10 times weirder than this game is. Sure, that doesn't have the Super Ball Flower, Airplane Level, or Daisy, but it looks better, plays better, and has Wario. So please, make your choice wisely. Still, it started everything I loved about this short-lived series. The wacky premises that go as far away from normal Mario as possible, featuring strong themes and progression between levels and experimental music. I'm not itching to ever play it again over its sequel, but it's a key part of Mario and Nintendo's history in the handheld gaming market, which they continue to rule to this day. Even though Tetris was a star of the Game Boy's launch in America, Super Mario Land got the job done as a successful transition to handheld gaming. But what happened to the Mario Land series? How did it die? Well, that's the thing. It didn't. It was stolen.
It's me, Wario!